Do you have a lacrosse team that's playing for the Final Four? Ask him. Ask him.
No, but they have a women's basketball team that rarely loses.
Oh, really? Because I've done it twice.
Yeah, okay. How many games did they win in between those two losses?
That don't matter.
It's like 250 games.
Did they win the national championship this year? No. Did they win it last year? No.
What is this topic you want to talk about?
Albert Breer.
I don't even know who that is.
He's a big deal.
In what circles?
The NFL. He's an NFL animalist. He's an animalist.
Animalist?
Why do I do a podcast? I can't speak.
Animalist, okay.
He's an analyst.
What does that do? Is he the guy that commentates about the experts when like critters run onto the field, like squirrels and cats?
Animalists are people that live in Washington because what they do is legal there. Anyways, Albert Breer tweeted, per sources, one anthem idea that's being discussed, leaving it up to home teams on whether teams will come out for the national anthem. If teams do come out for the anthem, there's a potential that teams could be assessed 15-yard penalties for kneeling.
Oh, Christ wept.
Like that just seems like adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah, you're not helping yourself here.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea.
No, it's not. And like I'm very much, against the kneeling. It's disrespectful and whatnot. But on the other hand, it's their right. They have the right to do so. It's granted by the First Amendment. Now, this is where I think it's going too far. First of all, so if the Steelers are playing the Ravens and the Steelers say, you know what, we're not going to go out for the national anthem. So you're not going to allow any of the players who want to be out there for it to be out there? That is bogus in itself right there. Mm-hmm. Or if there are people who don't want to be out there, you're going to force them to be out there? Okay. So
I think, to be honest, the best way to go about it is if they want to go out for the national anthem, go out for the national anthem. If they don't, you can stay inside.
How about we just go back to not broadcasting the national anthem?
Yeah, why are we still broadcasting? Does anybody watch the national anthem? I have Red Zone.
No one watches it. It was only put in to increase military.
Right, but even Red Zone doesn't start until the first kick goes off, so I don't have to watch any of that.
Right. So anyways, without yelling too much, because we got to be courteous. I think, what are the logistics of this, really? Is it 15 yards per person that kneels? And, when does that get assessed? So if a player on each team kneels, is that offsetting penalties? Does no one get penalized? Or does the team that start with the ball get penalized 15, and then when the next team starts, they get a 15-yard penalty? How is this going to work?
I don't like this. Why not everybody just stand with the team? I mean, if you don't want to acknowledge it, don't acknowledge it. Just stand on the sideline.
Well, because it's their right to not stand.
Well, then don't come out.
Not even stand.
Don't advertise it. Why penalize it? What do you think that gives you?
Yeah, it's literally just gonna make things more divisive. It's the exact opposite of what they should do.
I mean, they should just, if they're going to be this, what's the word I'm looking for? This out of touch with the players. At the very least, just make a uniform statement. All players must stand for the national anthem.
They have to. Just stand as a team, represent your team,
or just don't do the national anthem.
Well, you have to do the national anthem. Just don't show it on TV.
Okay, but for years the NFL, the players weren't on the field for the national anthem. Don't even have anyone go out. Nobody goes out for the national anthem.
Well, people watch
problem
it.
Solved.
People watch it for some games, like the Super Bowl. People care about who's singing the national anthem.
Okay,
right.
You can still broadcast it, but keep the teams in the locker rooms. They don't need to be there for it.
Right. So I think
you don't need to be there.
If this is 100% all just the league just showing you just how out of touch they are. The NHL gets it. The NHL they're at the forefront of everything. The Golden Knights just shows you. The fact that they're like, you know what, we're going to put a team in Vegas. No, we're not worried about this. We're going to put a team in Vegas. shows you how forward-thinking the NHL is. The fact that we are out here trying to penalize people because they are choosing to exercise their right to not stand or acknowledge the national anthem. And it just shows you how archaic and, ass backwards the NFL is. The fact that Matt Patricia got arrested and all of this, 30-some years ago and isn't going to be in any trouble, but Ezekiel Elliott is 100% innocent and gets suspended. It's just asinine. The NFL just does whatever they want without any regard for what needs to be done, what's going to make the product better. The product isn't... People aren't tuning out because people are kneeling during the national anthem. Some are, yes. That's a small percentage. Others are tuning out because they think your product is fixed. That's the issue right there. Because the Patriots just win. And your media team leaks things that show that the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl before they get to the Super Bowl. Like, you are not helping yourself. You are making it seem like you are literally fixing the games, and your referees are doing the same thing. All right, people are tuning out because you are putting subpar performances on the field, because you put the power in the hands of the players and not in a good way. You are letting people like Odell Beckham Jr. say, I am worth the most money in NFL history. Pay me or I'm going to sit out. The Giants should just tell him, okay, sit out. Your loss. Like, that's why these athletes are going from the passionate players like Lawrence Taylor, like Emmitt Smith, to these celebrity diva, all they care about is money. Like Odell Beckham Jr., do you not care about winning a championship? Aaron Donald, do you not care about winning a championship? Because it doesn't seem like you do by the way you talk. Going back to what I said earlier, if your main goal isn't to win a championship, then get out of the sport. Go into something else.
Yeah, but let's be honest here. The company isn't doing itself any favors in the way that it conducts itself and runs itself. The NFL is a disaster. It is hands down the worst-led sports organization in popular American sports. It's awful. It's terrible. Goodell is a disaster. Their disciplinary is garbage. There's no seriousness or rhyme and reason to anything that goes down in that league. It's all at the whims of one man. And that man is a colossal moron.
Yes, Tom Brady.
Is he? Because he distracts everyone and gets all the blame, and the owners get none. So he's doing his job perfectly as far as the owners are concerned. That's why he just got a raise.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand that and I get that, but you can still do that same job, but be better at it.
Well, what's the incentive to do so?
Making a sport that has integrity to it.
People are watching. Not
as many.
They're still getting those. The money doesn't necessarily come from people going to the games. That, from what I have read... I
understand, but if the numbers continue to go down, eventually so will the money generated. That's basic economics. If the demand isn't there, the cost for it isn't going to be as high.
I don't know how much it's going to change to where it will affect it like that. I think you're seeing it... You're seeing it with the same thing in the NBA, and nothing is changing. You had a primetime game earlier this season where LeBron James, Kevin Love, and I don't remember who on the other team, like the four best players on the two teams sat out.
That's not true. LeBron James didn't miss a single game this season.
Okay, then last season, whatever it was.
I know the argument you're making, because you have the times like when San Antonio was resting their players prior to the playoffs.
Yeah, no, say with them too. I'm not going to... Okay, I'll use them.
But I see what you're saying. Yeah, there's nights where the stars aren't playing.
Yeah, and you're putting out absolutely subpar product on primetime television. And that's not affecting anything.
I get it, but in the same sense, it can still be run better because people like what Silver's doing with the NBA. People like the way that the NHL is run. People have been enjoying that baseball is the changes to the All-Star game. People are accepting those things and trying to make the sport better. The NFL is just trying to keep you there rather than trying to make the sport better. They're not trying to progress. They're trying to hold on to what's worked. And there's certain people being fed up with what's quote-unquote worked. Because every time something new happens, you're not being progressive about it. You're being reactive.
Right.
And that it comes off like the NFL is incompetent at being able to run itself.
Which it seems like sometimes they are.
Right, and that's a terrible image because if you think about the other sports, you don't think that way about how they're run. I don't feel like they're incompetent. Do you think that there's things that they can do better? I'm sure that one of Silver's biggest problems is the idea of people sitting out, but it's not like he's not trying to... Like, if that's his biggest problem, he's doing okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not riddled with the problems that the NFL has.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of things that are facing the NFL that the other sports aren't worrying about right now. Like, all the other sports have guaranteed contracts, fully guaranteed. The NFL is all of a sudden going to have to start doing that.
Yeah, the NFL, again, it's trying to hold on to something of the past rather than trying to evolve into the way sports are evolving now. And that, if they can do that, that might help them out.
Possibly. Okay. So, can we all agree that this anthem thing is just a bad idea?
That's just nonsense. I don't who posed that? Snyder? Because it seems like a real red skin thing to suggest.
No, how funny would it be if Kaepernick was like double agent, like it was him?
Probably is. It's the whole thing. It's just trying to get everyone grind some gears.
Right, trying to be relevant.
Yeah.
No, probably the dude from Houston, the owner of the Texans, who's running his mouth.
Yeah, probably.
Him and Jerry Jones.
What an idiot.
Oh man.
Oh God. Okay.
All right, guys.
Did something happen on this day years ago?
Yeah, actually, that leads to. That's a good point. Good segue.
I'm sure it did.
It wasn't this day, but it was this week.
All right.
This week in sports history on May 23rd, 1873.
Jesus.
You guys have a guess what it is?
College football.
1873.
1873.
Baseball.
Nope and nope. The first Preakness was run.
Oh.
Okay.
G. Barbie was a board survivor who won in 2 minutes 43 seconds.
Wow.
First Preakness, 1873.
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Humans will bet on anything.
Yes, we will. Literally, my favorite bet every year is what color is the Gatorade for the Super Bowl.
That's great. Yeah, no, I get it. That's true.
Will the national anthem go over a certain amount of time?
That you can usually bet based on the singer.
Yeah. If it's Fergie, it's going way over.
Yeah, if it's Christina Aguilera, it's the over.
If it's instrumental, it's probably right on par, just about.
Yeah, if it's Fergie, I think because of the scrutiny, it's going to be under. She's going to get through it as quick as possible. Anyways, guys, fun show. Got to talk playoffs. We got one more episode of playoffs because
But I mean, at least we can call that the finals.
Yeah.
At least we can call that one the finals.
We can. Oh, look at this! Already a blowout.
Oh, great.
6:42 left in the first quarter. Rockets. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say Rockets are up. No, the Warriors are up 12-2. Oh, and James Harden's over here elbowing Durant in the face.
Good.
Oh, and screwing up his knee. Uh-oh.
The best game you won't have to watch.
Uh-oh.
It was showed all the way through.
Was it?
Yeah, that was they were showing the clip of the bang knee. That's
Oh.
why his knee's all jacked up.
Okay.
It's hard to follow with no sound.
Yeah.